announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's f***ing life is hard.
Yeah,
you were
true.
the prince of
That's
a
true.
goddamn country who dressed up as a f***ing Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Now for the tricky part. Place in microwave. What is microwave? I don't think we have any of that.
If you had lunch with Meghan Markle, you'd be stunned at how dumb she was. Not because she's black, because I wouldn't think she was black if I looked at her, because she's an actress who was on the show Suits.
That's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot. This motherfucker's invested in slavery like it was Shark Tank.
Suddenly, Meghan Markle's name is everywhere again, and not always for the reasons people expect. A few years ago, many people mostly recognized her as an actress from television. Then life changed overnight when she stepped into the world of royalty. The shift from Hollywood to the royal spotlight turned her into one of the most talked about figures on the planet. But lately, the attention hasn't just been coming from news outlets. A lot of it has been coming from comedians and late-night hosts who seem eager to weigh in. In the entertainment world, comedians often react quickly to big cultural moments. If a story becomes huge online, it doesn't take long before someone on stage or behind a late-night desk turns it into a punchline. Over the past few years, Meghan Markle has become one of those subjects that comedians repeatedly circle back to. Whether people agree with the jokes or not, the reactions have sparked endless debates across social media and television commentary. One moment that really got people talking involved comedian Chris Rock. During one of his stand-up segments, he addressed the ongoing conversation around Meghan and the royal family. Instead of tiptoeing around the subject, he leaned directly into the controversy. His comedic angle focused on how surprising it seemed to him that anyone could enter such an old and traditional institution and then be shocked that the system might come with complications. Chris Rock's routine quickly went viral because of the way he framed the situation.
It's a microwave, silly.
Don't talk to me like that, you bitch! I'm a fucking duchess! Shake that off!
Oh!
Gone on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers?
From his perspective, the royal family represents a centuries-old structure filled with history, tradition, and plenty of public scrutiny. In his view, stepping into that environment would naturally come with intense attention and complicated dynamics. The audience reacted loudly to the bit, and clips of the moment spread across the internet almost immediately. Another part of his routine touched on the controversy surrounding a conversation about what a future royal child might look like. That moment had already sparked huge discussions in the media. Chris Rock approached it from a comedic angle, suggesting that curiosity about family resemblance is something many families experience in everyday life. His joke reframed the conversation in a way that surprised some viewers and entertained others.
What the f*** is she talking about? She didn't know. The fuck? It's the royal family. They're the original racists. So racist, they wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Cause even black people wanna know how brown the baby gonna be.
Once that stand-up segment started circulating online, it opened the door for other comedians to jump into the topic as well. Suddenly, Meghan Markle was showing up in late-night monologues, comedy specials, and entertainment commentary segments all over the place. The conversation kept growing and the jokes kept coming. One of the next big moments arrived during the Golden Globes when comedian Joe Coy stepped onto the stage as host. Award show hosts usually keep their jokes light and safe, but Joe Coy decided to take a slightly bolder approach. At one point during the broadcast, he made a quick comment about the royal drama that had the audience reacting instantly. As the spotlight kept growing, another topic comedians couldn't resist bringing up was the couple's massive streaming deal. When the partnership with Netflix was first announced, it sounded like a huge move. The agreement reportedly involved tens of millions of dollars and promised documentaries, shows, and original content. At the time, it looked like the start of a powerful new media empire. But as months passed, some comedians began wondering out loud what exactly the audience was supposed to be getting from it. Late-night hosts quickly realized the situation was perfect comedy material.
Just a great series about a rich, white, dysfunctional family, all scheming. Oh no, that's The Crown. That's The Crown. I'm sorry. How great was Imelda Staunton in The Crown? Wasn't she amazing? Her portrayal of the Queen was so good, Prince Harry called her for it and asked her. Turns out Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will still get paid millions of dollars for doing absolutely nothing. And that's just by Netflix.
The mix of big expectations, high budgets, and slow releases created plenty of space for jokes. One of the first hosts to lean into that was Jimmy Kimmel, who took a playful but sharp approach during one of his monologues. His angle focused on the couple's decision to step away from royal life and relocate to the United States. Kimmel suggested that the explanations surrounding that move had become so complicated that even viewers struggled to keep track of the reasoning behind it. Kimmel didn't stop there. He also turned his attention to Prince Harry's memoir, which had already become one of the most talked about books of the year.
Harry said racism was a big part of their decision to leave, which you know things are bad at Buckingham Palace if they came to America to get away from racism. Prince Harry, whose memoir just broke the Guinness record for fastest selling nonfiction book of all time, the story of Prince Harold and his frozen yogurt slinger is so popular, they're now releasing a version for kids. I don't know if you know about this. It's a twist on The Princess and the Pea. It's called The Prince and the Penis, and it's
The book included personal stories, emotional reflections, and detailed memories from his time inside the royal family. But on late-night television, those serious topics sometimes get flipped into comedy. Kimmel joked about the length of the book and the level of personal detail it contained, turning parts of the memoir into a humorous segment that quickly started circulating online. Then another late-night voice joined the conversation. Jimmy Fallon, known for his lighter comedic style, found humor in one of Meghan's lifestyle-focused moments that had recently gone viral.
Why does Meghan Markle make her own pretzel bags? They don't know why.
That's interesting. She takes it from one bag and puts it in another bag.
There's another bag.
And that confuses people.
This, we're just gonna put into a different bag.
The 60 Minutes interview was a great chance to hear Harry and Meghan's story in case you missed their 2-hour sit-down with Oprah or their 6-part Netflix documentary.
The segment involved a luxury snack presentation that many viewers online couldn't stop talking about. Fallon turned the situation into a quick gag during his show, poking fun at how celebrity lifestyle content sometimes feels a little disconnected from everyday life. Meanwhile, the couple's long list of interviews continued to draw attention. After their highly watched conversation with Oprah Winfrey, they later appeared in several other major television discussions. Some commentators joked that every few months there seemed to be another interview, another documentary, or another headline-grabbing appearance. That pattern itself became a recurring topic for late-night hosts looking for fresh material. Even Stephen Colbert briefly joined the conversation during one of his opening monologues. He joked about how the couple sometimes refer to each other with shortened nicknames like H and M, suggesting that it sounded almost like the launch of a new brand rather than a typical royal nickname. Around the same time, Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live also slipped in a quick joke during the show's weekend update segment. By that point, Meghan and Harry had clearly become one of those cultural stories comedians kept revisiting. And in the world of late-night television, once a topic becomes a reliable punchline, it tends to stick around for quite a while. At a certain point, when comedians start turning a public story into sketch material, you know it has reached a whole new level of pop culture attention.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H.
And he'll say M and you'll say H and your friends say M and it just is a thing.
It's a thing.
And do you both love it?
Yes, and I like nicknames a lot.
What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
That's exactly what happened when the conversation about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made its way onto Saturday Night Live. The show is famous for transforming major headlines into comedy sketches, and once a topic appears there, it usually means the story has become part of the national conversation. But not every comedian approached the situation the same way. Early on, Trevor Noah had a very different tone when discussing Meghan and the royal family. During several segments on his show, he actually leaned toward defending her position while directing most most of his jokes toward the royal institution itself. Trevor highlighted how traditional the monarchy can be and joked about the pressure that comes with joining such an old and complicated system. At that stage, his commentary sounded more supportive than critical. Then, a moment surfaced that shifted the tone of the discussion.
Also announced a new trade deal with the UK that will reopen British markets for American companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
No! No! I refuse! I'm sick of it!
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits. BBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed.
A clip from the premiere of The Lion King began circulating online, showing Prince Harry speaking with Bob Iger, the longtime head of Disney. In the short exchange, Harry mentioned that Meghan was interested in doing voiceover work. The moment itself was brief, but once the clip spread across the internet, comedians quickly picked it up as new material. Trevor Noah later joked about how unusual that moment felt when compared to the long history of royal marriages. Historically, royal unions were often connected to diplomacy, alliances, or political strategy between nations. That's how many people learned about royal history in school. Trevor framed the situation humorously, pointing out how modern celebrity culture has completely changed the expectations around royalty. In today's media world, even royal figures sometimes appear in entertainment deals, documentaries, and voice acting opportunities. Another voice who weighed in was comedian Bill Maher, who approached the topic from a different angle entirely. Instead of focusing on a single moment, Maher talked about the broader media strategy surrounding the couple. In one segment, he joked about how public figures sometimes say they want privacy while also releasing books, documentaries, and interviews that bring even more attention their way. His commentary focused on the contrast between wanting distance from the spotlight while still participating in major media projects. Maher also referenced the late Queen Elizabeth II, noting how she spent decades maintaining a reserved public image. In his view, the Queen's style of handling publicity was built around restraint.
I know some people are disappointed by the name Archie, but there's one person who's super excited, the Queen. Yeah, because you know for the last 9 months, she's been like, please don't be Jamal, please don't be Jamal, please don't be Jamal. The Queen summoned everyone to a private meeting. Everyone attended except Meghan Markle. And I'll be honest, I don't blame Meghan for not going, because nothing good happens when white people invite you to the countryside. We've all seen Get Out. We know how this shit ends. Harry really did that at a movie premiere last year. He asked the CEO of Disney to hook his wife up with voiceovers. Gotta admit, the monarchy has fallen off, right? No, because back in the day, it used to be like, if you marry my daughter, I'll give you burgundy. Now it's like, my wife actually does a pretty good Timon. You should hear her. Come on, baby, do the thing. Hakuna Matata, do the thing.
And carefully chosen appearances rather than constant media discussions. The comparison sparked debate among viewers, with some agreeing and others defending Meghan and Harry's decision to tell their own story. Meanwhile, comedian Nikki Glaser offered yet another perspective. Her jokes leaned more toward analyzing the celebrity side of the situation. From her comedic viewpoint, Meghan's relationship with Harry instantly placed her in a level of global fame that even Hollywood success might not have delivered on its own.
We want it both ways. You know, you can't be, these people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want attention. They just strike me as creatures of that generation. You know, you're just fragile. Just take a hint from the Queen. The recently departed.
Never complain, never explain, and rarely be heard speaking in.
Complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous.
I will not bend the knee and just go along with the nonsense. That's what's so annoying about them. The most of all, they insist that you go along with their nonsense and their insanity and their fragility.
By this point, the couple had clearly become a recurring topic across stand-up specials, talk shows, and comedy segments everywhere. And once comedians lock onto a cultural storyline like that, it tends to stay part of the entertainment conversation for quite a while. As the comedy world kept reacting to the headlines around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the jokes didn't just stay in the United States. Across the Atlantic, British comedians also jumped into the conversation. And their style of humor tends to be much sharper. When British stand-up comics decide to tackle a public story, they rarely hold back. One comedian who addressed the topic was Jimmy Carr.
She wants to be famous. She found the guy to make her the most famous in the world, and now she's over there and she's like, oh, this isn't what I thought
What's
it
the
was.
point of being famous in a castle?
If she didn't marry him, she would be on The Bachelor this season. Fighting for Prince. She would be Meghan M. from Sherman Oaks barista. She's just
Said Meghan Markle is, of course, a lifelong feminist, which she's demonstrated by marrying a prince and giving up her job.
The royal family, right, if you can imagine, they're like our Kardashian. Prince Harry is very much our Kanye. He occasionally dresses as a Nazi, and he up.
And Meghan say they'd now like to split their time between spending your money in the UK and spending your money in Canada.
Known for his quick one-liners and very direct punchlines, Carr pointed out what he saw as an interesting contradiction in Meghan's public narrative. Earlier in her career, Meghan often spoke about independence and building a professional path in Hollywood. Carr joked that the moment she entered royal life, that entire trajectory suddenly shifted in a completely different direction. His punchline focused on how fast a person's priorities can change when royalty enters the picture. Meanwhile, comedians also revisited some of the older headlines surrounding Prince Harry himself. Over the years, several moments from Harry's younger days have circulated online again and again. One particular costume controversy from years ago continues to resurface in media discussions, especially whenever the couple becomes a trending topic. Comedians often reference it as an example of how public figures can never fully escape moments from their past, no matter how much time passes. Another theme that comedians brought up involved the period when Harry and Meghan were still part of the working royal family. During that time, their lifestyle and official duties were funded through structures connected to British taxpayers. For some commentators, that detail created tension with the couple's later criticisms of royal life. Comedians turned that contrast into jokes about how complicated the relationship between public funding and personal frustrations can sometimes appear. Television personality Kelly Osbourne also shared her thoughts during a discussion that later spread widely online. Her take focused on the broader idea that many people face difficult experiences in life, and she argued that relatability often comes from acknowledging struggles in a balanced way. From her perspective, public reactions can become complicated when stories about hardship appear alongside images of celebrity lifestyles and luxury homes.
I think Harry's a twat. He's a whining, whinging, complaining, woe is me, I'm the only one that's ever had mental problems. Like, my life was so hard. Everybody's f***ing life is hard.
Yeah,
you were
true.
the prince of
That's
a
true.
goddamn country who dressed up as a f***ing Nazi, and now you're trying to come back as the Pope? Suck it.
Around the same time, media commentator Simon Brodkin decided to actually watch the couple's documentary series released through Netflix. Instead of reacting to headlines alone, he wanted to see the full project before forming an opinion. After viewing the series, he joked that the documentary had an unexpected effect. People who had previously ignored the entire situation suddenly started debating it everywhere. The series began by addressing issues like media scrutiny and the pressure that comes with intense public attention. Those opening themes resonated with some viewers. However, as the episodes continued, parts of the storytelling style became another source of humor for comedians. Some pointed out the dramatic tone used to describe events, suggesting that it sometimes felt more like a scripted drama than a typical documentary. By that stage, the story of Harry and Meghan had clearly transformed into one of the most discussed cultural topics across talk shows, podcasts, and comedy stages alike. By this point, the discussion around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had spread far beyond traditional news coverage. Comedy shows, podcasts, and online commentary were all weighing in, each with their own perspective on the couple's public image. And one theme that kept popping up again and again was the idea of royal protocol.
I watched the Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. Now, I'll be honest with you, before I watched it, I was not a fan of theirs. But now I've actually heard their side of the story, I f***ing hate them. It started off and they're making interesting points about racism and misogyny. Then they start calling each other H and M. And I just thought, oh, do f*** off. Harry starts describing this one date with Meghan as the night, let me quote you here, me and Em pulled the pin on a fun grenade. I actually started rooting for Prince Andrew. Harry says, how do you explain to someone who's just started dating that they have to curtsy to your own grandmother?
How do you explain that you bow to your grandmother and that you will need to curtsy, especially to an American? Like, that's weird.
And I'm thinking, maybe just tell her that your grandmother is the queen. They were complaining that to pay for their own security. They were not happy about that. Yeah, they were very worried about their safety, which I get that aspect of things after 6 episodes. I wanted to attack her.
Many comedians joke that when someone enters a centuries-old institution like the monarchy, there are bound to be rules, traditions, and expectations that take time to learn. Several British comedians turned that idea into sharp punchlines. Their argument, framed through humor, was simple. If you're stepping into one of the most structured royal families in the world, it might help to understand the customs before everything becomes international headlines. Those jokes often landed with big reactions from audiences because royal etiquette is such a famously complex system. Meanwhile, in the United States, Conan O'Brien found his own unique way to poke fun at the situation. During one of his segments, he joked about the wax statues of Harry and Meghan displayed at museums like Madame Tussauds. Wax figures have always been slightly strange to begin with, and Conan leaned into that weirdness.
I was curious what they did with Harry and Meghan's wax figures, so I found a museum employee who's temporarily storing. Oliver, you have generously offered to keep the wax figures of Harry and Meghan safe.
Yeah, that's correct. And if I may, I would just like to say that I'm definitely not using the wax figures for sex. They're in a loving home, and I treat them better than the museum ever did. They didn't appreciate Meghan's soft hands or Harry's supple lips.
He turned the statues themselves into the setup for a comedic bit, imagining what those silent figures might be thinking as the headlines kept rolling in. For comedians, that kind of visual joke is perfect material. When even museum displays connected to celebrities start becoming part of the humor, it shows just how deeply the story has entered pop culture. Then, attention shifted toward Meghan's lifestyle and food projects, including her interest in home entertaining and specialty products. Some comedians used those ventures as inspiration for more jokes, suggesting that celebrity lifestyle. Brands often try to present everyday activities as luxury experiences. In the comedy world, that contrast between simple ideas and premium branding can easily become the punchline. Another surprising voice to comment on the broader conversation was John Oliver.
Got out of copping and then became a food broker, which we're like, come on, that's what? CIA, right?
Yes.
And he's like, no, I really am a middleman for jars of jam.
He works for Meghan Markle.
Yes.
Really tiny jams, harvestable jams.
Yes, exactly.
Made from the oils of Montecito.
I don't think they will change because I don't think they have the capacity to, but they obviously should.
Known for his thoughtful and analytical comedic style, Oliver usually focuses on political systems or complex global issues, but even he briefly referenced the ongoing media discussion surrounding the couple. His commentary leaned more toward analyzing how public perception changes over time, especially when celebrities repeatedly appear in headlines. And of course, once a story becomes popular online, the internet quickly joins the conversation. Memes, parody videos, and satirical sketches started appearing everywhere. One of the most talked about examples came from the British puppet satire show Spitting Image, which has a long tradition of exaggerating famous figures for comedic effect. In one of their sketches, the puppet version of Meghan was portrayed hosting a lifestyle segment filled with over-the-top presentations of very simple foods and household ideas. The exaggerated scene played into the wider online joke about how celebrity lifestyle branding sometimes transforms ordinary things into glamorous experiences.
I'm Megan Sussex, and I'm a good person. And I'm meeting another good person today, the wonderful Ariana Grande.
Oh my God, Megan, you're such a good person.
Yes, that's why I'm going to talk to you like you're an idiot. I'm preparing my guests some soul food that my British husband calls a packet of crisps. Can be a tricky dish to master, especially when a packet is being a fucking... Oh my God, you've been knocked down by the crisps. So vulnerable. I love it.
I'm just down here holding space.
And now, the finishing touches. A fly.
Whether people found the jokes funny or unfair, one thing was clear. By this stage, Meghan and Harry had become one of the most discussed topics in comedy and online satire alike. And once the internet turns a story into memes and sketches, the conversation tends to keep going for quite a while. As the online conversation kept growing, satire started playing a bigger role in how people talked about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. One example that drew a lot of attention involved parody sketches showing exaggerated versions of the couple's lifestyle content. In these sketches, everyday activities were presented as if they were grand life lessons. Things like arranging flowers or offering advice on simple routines. The joke, of course, was how dramatically ordinary moments were being framed.
You can subscribe to learn how to breathe, how as a finishing touch sticking flowers on anything means you made it with love, and I share the secret to a happy marriage. Fuck's sake, H! Don't make me get the electric color out.
Sorry, love. I think my arm's gone dead. Now for the tricky part. Place in microwave. What is microwave? I don't think we have any of that. Harry? Do we have any microwave?
It's a microwave, silly.
Don't talk to me like that, you bitch! I'm a fucking duchess! Shake that off!
In California, we're just a regular couple living close to Oprah and far from the paparazzi.
Ooh.
But not too far.
The humor came from taking something completely normal and treating it like a major revelation. In the parody, even the smallest lifestyle tips were presented as if they were groundbreaking discoveries. For audiences watching the sketches, that exaggerated presentation was the whole point of the comedy. It highlighted how celebrity lifestyle branding sometimes turns everyday habits into polished how-to moments. But the satire didn't stop there. The British puppet show Spitting Image, famous for its exaggerated political and celebrity caricatures, created a series of sketches featuring puppet versions of Harry and Meghan. The show has always used over-the-top humor to comment on public figures, and this time was no different. Their version of the couple leaned heavily into the ongoing narrative about fame, media attention, and the couple's expanding projects in entertainment and business. In one of the sketches, the puppet characters were shown living near other celebrities in California while still talking about the desire for privacy. That contrast became the centerpiece of the joke. The sketch imagined situations where the characters were trying to stay out of the spotlight while simultaneously being surrounded by cameras, interviews, and entertainment deals. The exaggerated dynamic between the two puppet characters also became part of the humor. In the sketch, Harry's puppet often appeared confused, while Meghan's puppet confidently pushed forward with new projects and branding ideas. The creators clearly leaned into the idea of turning public speculation into a comedic storyline, something Spitting Image has done with famous figures for decades. At some point, several of the clips from those sketches became harder to find online, which only fueled curiosity among viewers. Whenever parody content suddenly disappears from the internet, people immediately start wondering what happened. Some online commentators speculated about possible legal concerns, while others suggested the clips may simply have been removed due to licensing or distribution issues. Nothing official was ever confirmed, but the mystery itself kept the conversation going. Meanwhile, another animated show decided to approach the story from its own comedic angle. South Park, known for building entire episodes around pop culture controversies, created a storyline inspired by the couple's ongoing media presence. The episode exaggerated the idea of public figures asking for privacy while still appearing in interviews, documentaries, and magazine features. True to the show's style, the satire was bold and direct. The writers turned the debate about fame, attention, and privacy into a full storyline that audiences quickly recognized. Whether viewers agreed with the jokes or not, the episode showed just how deeply the Harry and Meghan story had embedded itself in entertainment culture. By that stage, comedians, cartoonists, and satirists everywhere had clearly decided that this royal saga was one of the most fascinating and comedic stories of the decade. By the time the jokes reached animated shows and late-night monologues, the conversation had clearly gone global. One of the funniest angles comedians kept pointing out was the idea of a privacy tour. In satire like South Park, the irony was front and center. Characters talking about wanting a quiet life while cameras followed every step of the journey. The humor came from that contrast, and audiences definitely noticed. Moments like that are why this whole story keeps popping up across comedy stages and television. Whether people think the jokes are fair or too harsh, one thing is certain. Meghan Markle has become a major topic in pop culture commentary. Those were some of the most talked about celebrity reactions, but there are definitely more out there. Let me know in the comments who else should be featured in the next video. And if you enjoy celebrity drama and commentary like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also check out the next video on your screen right now for even more stories and reactions. I'll see you in the next one.